Good evening all. Welcome to round 5 of Season 2 CXR Championship for the MX5s. Today, joined by the usual crew, got Phil McDougall, who's going to be looking after the cameras. Say hello.
Hello.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
And we have our Dutch master friend, Mr. Ruben.
Hello.
There we go. So, things are interesting now. So, boys are currently started quali at the moment. Just looking at the track at the moment, a couple of early laps, but I think they're out laps looking at the times. The guys were getting 1:39s, quite a few actually in practice. So I expect that 1:45 marker to tumble down. What is the time of day on this one, Phil? It looks like it's sunset or something.
No, it's quite early morning. So
is it sunrise? Is it?
Yeah,
okay.
Sunrise. So I think the session started at 8 a.m. So we've had an hour. Was it 7 a.m.? Let's check.
No, 7. It's now 8 minutes past 8.
Yeah, 8 minutes past 8. So yeah, quite an early race.
Oh, there you go. Right. So that'll make it interesting, I suppose. Track temperature's 18. Oh, sorry, is that air temperature? I assume 18 degrees.
I can have a look. Track temperature is 18 degrees.
Oh, that is the track's not the ambient air
we've got air temperature at 18 degrees as well. So.
Oh, it's mildly stickily moist at 49%. That normally means showers usually, but yeah.
I'm not sure
track
that
18
is going to happen.
No, unfortunately, we haven't got that option yet, have we? So race control as well. There you go. Look, I've just been prompted there by seeing Aaron's tag there. So race control today. Who have we got? Have we got Neil and Aaron, or just Aaron?
I believe we've got both Neil and Aaron.
We got both of them.
Yeah, I believe we've got both of them tonight.
So they'll be sorting out any mischief on track later on.
Nom 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 from Aaron, so he's obviously tucking into
eating
McDonald's probably.
Yeah, you said his car's full of wrappers or something. What was that? You get free McDonald's. You should be sponsored by or something. So good evening all in watching, or feel free to bung a message in the chat and we'll pick them up as the race goes through. You're very quiet, Ruben. I've nearly been talking for a whole 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'll leave it up to you, but no, I just saw something, so carry on.
Cheers.
That's right. Are you on your special subscription?
Yeah, sorry. Cheers for the subscription from GT Matt 83 with 3 months, and we've also got 3 months from Andre Brunette 3000.
You said Andre 3000 nearly, didn't you?
He is called Andre.
There's his name for the past. I thought you did an introduction for Ruben.
I was about to. Yeah, I was about to.
Go on, do it.
No, I won't.
Oh dear. Hey, look, they're all turning Dutch. What's going on here? Anglais in chat, please. We'll have to go on Google Translate otherwise. Right. Oh, someone set a 1:39. Absolutely spot on. 000. Like showing 001 in the lead. I can't remember what it's called. What's that box thing called? I was going to say leaderboard, but it's not, is it? On the clock. What's happening? Look. So at the moment, our top 7 are second of each other. So this should lead to interesting times, especially as we're coming up already a third of the way in, over a third of the way in quali at the moment.
Yeah, looking at the what you already said earlier, looking at the practice times, it's gonna look like it's gonna be a close one, and some other guys that maybe weren't as quick during qualifying in the first 3 rounds of this season put a pretty decent lap time in during practice. So some may favor this track more than the tracks we've done so far. But
well, this is a great track for this car. I'm basing it obviously on last season's one, but Laguna Seca is one of my favourites anyway. But it suits this little MX5 nicely with all the little twists and stuff. So it's quite a flowy track.
It is.
Keeping an eye on the quali times.
Yeah, we see just Mr. Torres jumping to P2 with a 1:39.030,
which is 300ths behind our current pole sitter, Mr. Williams.
Yeah, and we see Chris Lee make a jump from 9th to 7th place. Mr. Headington, P11. But I mean,
So
looking at the lap
yeah.
times now, I mean,
They're stretching
P1
out.
to P14.
Top 10, yeah. Top 10's a second, isn't it? So
Yeah.
could be good. Could be good. Looks close. I'm sure there'll be one that's sandbagging. Ooh.
Well,
Is for the host GT Matt.
I think for this track they can take a bit of advantage of starting so early in the morning with track temperatures, and therefore don't ruin the tires. Can go a little longer before they really drop off. So
I believe from memory, quite punishing on the tyres, but I don't think with this it's going to affect it too much with the length we've got. But we'll see. I'm trying to remember which one last year people were changing the set, either the fronts or the backs. That's very kind of you, Matt. Thank you. Reading the chat. So, Mr. Andresen, currently our amateur leader, and who's sitting a very admirable 4th in the overall league, yet to go out and put a lap. So, if he wants to, he needs to start getting out there shortly. Those tyres aren't going to get warm.
oh, there we have him, P12. While you were talking about
Hey.
it, he puts his first timed lap in with a 140.870, but
Martin goes second. 138.9.
but still about 4/10 off. And most of them seem to have a good gap in front and behind. That was at Solder was a little bit of a no, not Solder. I think it was more Daytona. It was a little bit of a cluster. Beep.
Absolute cluster.
There you go. So that's good to see.
Am I on a delay at all, Phil? I could test out your strength of how good your finger is, if you like.
You can always try.
Where is he? I'm just coming over the line.
Wow, with a 138.2. He's flying. He is flying.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but obviously there was an incident last week, and race control handed out a pit lane start for Mr. Ramirez, if memory serves me correct.
Yes, they did.
So he should not be qualifying, should he?
No, not really.
So there's one for Aaron and Neil to look at straight away. How do we?
Not ideal.
Can you force someone to start in the pit lane before quali ends or not?
You can't
I'm not
force
quite sure.
it, but I mean he can just start from the pit lane. He could be just using this as
Can he? I don't know. I was just playing devil's advocate
yeah.
there.
You just wait until and you don't grid. So.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So it won't kick you out the race. It dumps you in the pit lane, does it? If you don't grid.
Aaron is responding.
Oh, is he? Well, let's have a little look. I'm trying to do 10 things multitasking. Correct. Which
Leave
part,
that to women.
I didn't see that pop up at any particular point of my conversation there. Correct. So I'm assuming that if he doesn't pit up, he starts in the pit lane. I think Aaron just wants a button that he can press just to upset people.
Oh, and Mr. Torres puts in another quicker lap, 138.1, with just under 3 minutes of qualifying left. We see Duncan Kirby in P5, Craig Harris with a good P6 at this moment, Chris Slaymaker P7. Let's hope for Chris that he can have a good race. Mr. Needham P8. Kenneth Andresen still in P11. So that's interesting. That's interesting.
That's where I would be different from Aaron there. He'd have a disconnect button. I would have a shiny button with maybe rain or oil slick so that we could get racing a bit more lively. So the boys are down to a low, very low in fact. Wow.
Luis
Mr.
Santiago
Torres.
just moved into 6th place actually with a 139.4.
Well, Mr. Torres has hit a 138.1, which is
Yeah.
over half a second quicker than Erhon Martin in second. Wow. Where has he pulled that one from?
Out of his head. And Darren Goebel had a good race at Zolder, currently in P15.
Yep, he was the leading amateur, I believe, in the last race, and second in the amateur league.
I think Chris Needham is second in the amateur league.
Is he? Have I done him a disjustice, have I?
I think Darren Goebel was third, if I'm correct.
You might be. No, you're wrong.
No, you're
actually.
right.
You're wrong.
Absolutely right.
You're wrong. You'll learn. I keep telling the missus that. You'll learn one. No, it's 8 points between them, actually. Andres is actually running away with the amateur league, a bit like Mr. Torres is in the pro. He's 26 points clear, so we can even have a week off and still be top. So Mr. Goebel's second with 60, Chris Needham third with 52.
And Chris Needham qualified in front of Mr. Andresen, so I mean that could be interesting for the race.
So they're just coming into the last minute or so, I believe. I just got to check the clock. Yeah, no, that's right. Matches up with my clock. Who's out on track at the moment? Let's have a quick look at the map. Where's the start line? Down the bottom. So there's a few in the pits. We've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 cars out on track at the moment. So if you cross the line, they might have enough time just to get that last lap in. I think realistically, I think they're going to struggle. I can't see who's twos on the start-finish straight, but I don't think they're going to get over the line in time. No, they're not. So this lap counts for everyone out.
So for all we could see, Mr. Torres practicing his start.
Have a listen.
The question is though, if he's out for quite some time on this track, his tires would be warm.
Yeah, they would definitely be
or
warm,
heated
so
up.
yeah, it's going to be
So
a little bit different.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think he was adjusting his biting point for this clutch. And I think on this track the cars, I would say the first 6 or so are starting a little bit on the slope up.
Yeah, hopefully they don't manage to full start.
And that's qualifying done, by the way. Not quite sure. I think that's it. Lovely view of the corkscrew.
Such a beautiful section of the track.
It definitely is.
It is such a beautiful track actually, this one.
No, it is a nice track. It really is.
There's not really any corners I don't really enjoy. It's just
it's a very fast, free-flowing track, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is really good for these little MX5s because the MX5s you can still rag them. You know, you're not constantly always going down all the gears, and it just flows really nicely. And the corkscrew is the best bit because these little things come out like a scolded cat if you get that corkscrew right.
Yeah, but I can imagine on the new tire model,
possibly, yeah.
I've 2 laps or so, it's going to be a little bit sketchy.
It could be a bit hairy. There could be a few in the old kitty litter, couldn't there? We shall see. But it leads to a lovely sort of last third of the track they're coming up to. That really sharp right, left-hander before the start-finish straight.
Yeah, and I think we're waiting on the.
Do you want me to do the provisional based on my iRacing standing?
You don't need to because we can now go live with it.
Ooh!
There we go.
Come on, know your stuff, Phil. Yeah. Go on, Ruben.
Right, so in P1 we've got Juame Torres, and P2 Rio Martin. P3 is, I reckon it's going to be Alex Hurth, as Mr. Ramirez has to start from the pit lane. So P4 will be Duncan Kirby, P5 Luis Santiago, P6 Chris Laymaker, P7 Craig Harris, P8 Kenneth Andresen, P9 Chris Needham, P10 Arnaud Chanonier, P11 Daniel James, and then we've got P12 Yannick Fouquet, P13 Jason Headington, P14 Ben Charlton, P15 Darren Goebel, P16 Jamie Christie, P17 David Pedersen, and last but not least in P18 Kieran Williams. So everybody's grilling up, waiting for the lights to go green.
Yeah, so we are just going to have there is going to be a brief wait while, obviously, because Hector is actually going to start from the pits. He hasn't ready.
Got to run down the clock, hasn't he? So that's a 2-minute normally, isn't it?
Yeah.
So whilst we're waiting, then who are we going for the race win, then, guys?
I'm going to go for Martin myself. But I don't know. Torres might have scored to settle from last week. Obviously, suffered a bit of a penalty, dropped back to P2.
I'm gonna go for Duncan Kirby.
I'll go for Nick Andrews, but he's not racing, so I'm gonna have to go for Torres. So there you go. So hopefully, I'm just coming up to 2 minutes now.
Yeah,
so...
and as you can see, the first 5. Oh, we've got the lights.
Ooh. And we're off. Ooh, a little bit ahead. Is that a bit of contact there at the back?
Someone got a little bit of a bad start.
Somebody bogged down, didn't they? So Mr. Ramirez is. Let's just have a little look. See if I can have a look at him.
Hasn't come out of the pitch yet. I haven't noticed him.
He's off. He's off.
Oh,
there he goes. Right, yeah. So he's trundling off now as we speak.
So far, so good. So far,
quite an interesting racing for him actually, because he's more than quick enough to start catching people up very, very quickly. So
yeah. Well, good to see. It shows respect for the league. So thanks, Mr. Ramirez, for starting from the pit lane. Let's see what he can do. I totally agree. I mean, he's got the pace. He's shown it, but still have to go through the whole field to get back again. Well, currently we got Mr. Torres leading in front of Mr. Martin, but he's... Oh, almost look like Mr. Torres just scrubbed a little bit of his speed. And Mr. Martin having a little bit of a better run coming up to the corkscrew. Playing it safe, backing out a little bit.
Get those tyres warmed up first. I think they've learned that on a couple of the races early on.
Yeah, you get used to the tyre model, of course, especially if you've done enough practice as well, but still, you don't want to be too eager on those first 2 to 3 laps. Just let it settle down a bit, but so far so good. Well, everybody gets clean, or goes through cleanly, so that's good to see.
Mr. Ramirez already has caught up 3 seconds of his 10-second plus handicap there, starting out the pit. He's already coming up just over 6 seconds behind the current back marker, and someone's had a spin there as well at the back. Mr. Goebel is now 18th, and Mr. Ramirez is just about to overtake him on the start-finish straight.
But Jason Haddington on the inside of him, I think, and taking
ouch.
Yeah, a little bit of a spin, but I think he'll be all right. Yeah, he's back now battling with Hector Ramirez, so Hector Ramirez goes through and takes himself up into P18.
Ooh, does he? Yes, he's held it. Right, okay.
Ooh. Darren had a little bit of a slide, but everything went well. So,
Mr. Martin definitely putting the pressure on, isn't he?
And already Kenneth Andresen is has put himself in P5. Oh, he had a good start then. Can you put up the positions changed, Bill?
Just come to get it last time. Cool.
Yep.
There we go.
Yeah. Take a look now.
So, Mr. Santiago's lost 4 positions. So, I'm not sure if that was because of...
Oh,
was he the one
someone's
who
had a
had the
spin.
slow start?
Oh, I
someone's
think it
gone.
was Santiago. It was Santiago.
So what's happened?
Oh no, unfortunately Yannick.
Oh, curve.
Yannick's just lost the back of an end going into the corkscrew.
Yeah, I must say that Lewis wisely goes in reverse instead of just going.
I would
in front
imagine
of
the
the track.
race controller are going to be looking at that one right now.
And it was a proper hit, so I can imagine that Santiago picked up some damage because of it. But, as we know, we've got fast repairs in this league, so this race may not be over yet. Good evening, Skippy Slippers.
Chippity.
Chippy. Oh wait, there's an 8 in front. Sorry, Chippy Slippers.
You thought it was Dutch, didn't you?
No, I thought from where I'm sitting, it looked like this.
Chippy Slippers?
Slippers?
Come on.
That's a great name. I'm only kidding. I am only kidding.
Right, so Duncan Kirby has overtaken Kenneth Andresen, is currently in P5. Chris Slaymaker is in a good P4, without a second behind Alex Hurt, who is 2 seconds behind Mr. Martin. And Mr. Martin isn't as close to Mr. Torres as he
Chris
normally
Needham is
is.
dropping
Someone's
back.
gone.
What has happened there?
Yeah, someone's gone. I was just noticed that. Just trying to find
I
it.
was trying to catch up with it on camera, but
Yeah, someone's fast tracked. What do they call it?
Oh, there was some contact.
there was some contact.
Was that was?
Oh, he rolled it. Wow. Wasn't that hard of contact? Someone else has gone in the pit. Dan James is going into pit as we speak. So Mr. Haddington currently running in 9th. Sunstorm. Odd position. Behind him. But Torres has managed to squeeze out a second lead all of a sudden. 2 attempts at one in the early cut laps.
Nice little on board with Mr. Arnaud Chanonnier. Look into the back of Craig Harris. So I must say the field is spread out a little bit more than I would expect.
Yeah, I think it was a bit like this in the first season. It's that sort of track that lends itself to a little bit of spreading.
You can have one. I was just about to say, you can have one little mistake like that, the corkscrew, and all of a sudden your whole race goes different.
Well, yeah.
I'm glad I
just
didn't say it, because then that I would have been the one that prompted
been
that.
blamed.
Yeah.
Well,
But
you did.
Yeah, you did.
I thought it, so my thought powers went through there. Oh my god.
It's that button you're using.
A little bit of
Skip
commentator
button.
curse. So Craig Harris currently is in the pit as well. Chris Needham is back out on track, but Mr. David Patterson is still in the pit. And then we've got Ben Charlton fighting for position with Mr. Fouquet.
So the top 3 currently doing 138, one late, well, 138 late 8. So they're finding a bit of pace. I presume the track's starting to warm up a little bit, which might help.
Oh, Ben Charlton is losing his car. And he
Ooh,
puts it in the
yeah.
wall.
Just put it in the wall.
That's a shame.
I'm not sure I would have. You were right by the pits. If he did. Oh no, he wasn't by the pits. Sorry, I thought
No,
he was
it
in the
was the
final
other one.
sector. Wrong car on my screen.
David Patson's still in the pits. And so is
Yeah,
Ben.
and
He's obviously towed in.
it's not a good. How many fast repairs do they've got in this league,
Just the
Phil?
one, I think.
Yeah,
it
just one. So yeah, everyone can get out and back running again. It's just obviously it is quite a difficult track. Obviously, the corkscrew is
It unsettles the car.
yeah, it
You've got to go
unsettles the
in
car a lot,
nice
and
and straight.
these cars don't have downforce. So I mean, well, not a lot of downforce. I mean, they don't really need downforce, but because they're not
And
really
they're
going
pretty
fast
grippy,
enough.
aren't
Yeah,
they?
they are pretty grippy.
Good evening,
your
Mr.
your
OTL
girlfriend's
Legger.
written your girlfriend's like in the chat there. Oh, can we find some other logos? I hate that logo. What? No downforce? No, they don't go quick enough to warrant downforce, do they?
So we've got Mr. Ramirez, who started from the pit, now currently in P13. Trying to go for the inside move on Darren Goebel, which he does, so he takes another position, puts himself in P12. But he's still got a long way to go.
Oh, he's gone
Then
wide.
again. Ooh. Yeah, that's not gonna help.
Ryan Goebel went a little bit wide there.
Did he get in front of Mr. Ramirez again? He must have then.
What do you mean?
I'm sure Mr. Ramirez overtook Mr. Goebel at the end of the lap one when he had a little
He
wobble.
overtook him in turn 1. That's another way to do it.
You could just have your long flowing locks. Don't need the cap. Bit more resistance.
Ooh.
When you watch it on the
Ramirez.
replay, you don't realise how steep that corkscrew is.
Oh, Ramirez takes about 2 positions. Pretty much in 2 turns. So that puts him in P10 already. Oh, Duncan Kirby's in the pit. What happened with Duncan Kirby?
I don't think anything. I mean, so maybe he's just pitted for fuel. I mean, it is quite early. We're only 10 minutes into the race.
Confused. It says out. So that means disconnected or something. And for some reason, I can't get him up on the iRacing. I think he might disconnect. Is he actually in the pit? Can you see him?
Who's that?
I can't see
Kirby.
Duncan Kirby.
I think he's actually disconnected. Because I can't get him on the scroll of drivers, so
It's
yeah, I
not
can't.
showing anything.
I think he's disconnected. It says out as well rather than in pit.
Anyway.
Double click on him. Where is he?
I can't see anything on my...
Mr. Kirby.
Maybe he's had a problem. Maybe he's actually had an internet issue.
Yeah,
I think
it's blank.
yes.
He's blank.
I think
He's not.
yes.
He's not in the session. It is
I only
blank.
see
I'm
one
seeing
car
a
in the
picture
pit,
of a
and that's still
tree.
David Pedersen.
I can only see a tree, unfortunately.
So yeah, I agree. I think he just had an internet dropout or something. So we've got Jason Haddington in P10, Darren Goebel in P11, about half a second behind. So Darren would pretty much want that position, as he is currently P2 in the championship for the AM class. So
Looks like, unfortunately, David Patson's also had an issue. It's just flagged up.
yeah, David Pedersen was in the pit for quite some time. So
So Phil being our resident IT guru, it says receive throughput fell to an acceptable level. So I'm assuming that's an internet.
That is an internet issue.
Oh,
That is unfortunate.
In the chat right now, VR froze on him.
Oh
Ouch.
no, I've had that before as well. It's absolutely horrible. The whole everything just goes black, and you obviously you're hyped up because you're driving at 200 miles. Well, maybe not in these cars, but
20 mile an hour.
yeah, 20 miles an hour. And then yeah, all of a sudden everything cuts out, and you're quite deflated.
Well, as the bookies would say, unfortunately, you don't even get a void bet there.
Well, there goes my bet. I was cheering for you, Duncan, but yeah, shit that it froze on you.
They'll still take your €10, don't you worry. So believe it or not, we're nearly coming up to a third of the race already. So
yeah, Mr. Torres with about 2.5 seconds
got to
in
put my
the
sunglasses on for that. Jesus, look at the colour of that. That's a sort of top hardware as well.
Who's letting them through?
Ooh, he is as well.
Or what if you got a slowdown from somewhere, maybe?
There's no
he's
auto
picking off
slowdowns, is
pretty
there?
hard, but
Did he miss a gear or something? I don't know.
you got damage because of hitting a curb. Wow, with the Mazda. Okay. So you hit a sausage, I would imagine.
Sausage. Can't be a bit of sausage.
A braadworst.
Right. Yeah. Savaloy this end of the world, I suppose. Especially Mr. Chippy Slippers. I'm sure he likes the Savaloy.
But then again, like I said before, it's now 3 seconds in the lead from Mr. Torres, so...
Yeah, he's just got Jason Haddington in the way for Martin at the moment. So just needs to get past when he can, and there we go. So Jason just lets him through, goes wide on the corner and lets him through.
Nicely done. Could have done it on the straight, which cost maybe didn't cost enough time for him. Or
Is that even how you spell walloped, even when you respell walloped?
No, I think it's a H. I'm sure he meant battered a sausage.
Well, I know exactly what you mean, but I'm just like, even I'm questioning myself.
Walloped, I think it's...
Wallop, it does have a H in it.
it is now. He tried to make love with it, but it didn't work.
Walloped. Absolutely walloped, mate.
Right, well, still a shame, mate. Still a shame.
Well, according to my rubbish American style text corrector, that's how you spell wallets, but that don't look right to me. I'm sure it's got a H.
That's what he said, walloped.
It's if you use Grammarly or any other plugin.
I think that's how
It's American
that's how
tap.
Paddy McGuinness from Top Gear. That's how he'd say it. Walloped.
In it. Oh dear. Right, Mr. Ramirez, he's up to 9th.
Yeah. So we've got Jason Haddington in the pits. Maybe a scheduled pit. We're all kind of around
In the window.
Yeah, I would suspect
I think you're right.
16 minutes is probably at the window. So
Should be good.
Good
Just come
evening,
out.
Roberto and Duxpa.
hey, Roberto. Hope you're good, man.
He said good night. But
How's Neil's Dutch coming along then, Ruben?
well, he knows one sentence, but
Can't
Phil
repeat
has a
that
good
on live on
one for it.
TV.
Tell you what it is.
Does it involve your mother or your sister?
No, it doesn't.
Oh, you're right.
But it involves something else that I'm not going to say here. Well, that's good to hear, Roberto. You're always welcome to join.
Believe it or not, we're over halfway of the championship already.
So Daniel James is battling for position with Jamie Christie. What's the fastest lap time so far, Phil?
Let's take a look.
A 138.1's my money. Mr. Torres.
Yeah.
Yay! Bonus point for me.
Oh, I see
Well,
38s in there.
I mean, it's a bit surprising though because in all the first 3 rounds, Mr. Martin and Torres, there we've got a spin by
Yeah.
Daniel James,
Which is
Shame
only.
for Retech Sim Sport.
I was just about to say Mr. Torres' fastest lap of the race, so he's basically on par with his quali time, within a few hundredths.
He almost got it, but not good enough. It's
Nah,
unfortunate.
These little MX5s are nasty when the back end snaps. Very
Yeah,
hard
well,
to
you could see on his entry, it was on the outside a little bit on the gravel, so I can imagine that unsettled it at first. Couldn't brake too much.
Where's Mr. Slaymaker? He's already
Currently,
He's
P4.
just cruising by in P4, isn't he? He's
just keeping under his nose clean at the moment, so good drive.
You're always welcome, Roberto, and if you have other drivers to join as well, all good.
He's in that horrible little predicament where he's got several seconds ahead of him and several seconds behind him. Although he has got, that must be the gap into the car behind him, I'm guessing. Or was that a back marker? It might be a back marker actually. Yeah, Craig Harris.
Well, if Chris can just hold this, it would be nice for him to finish in this strong position, P4. Kenneth Andresen in P5.
Another solid race at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. And Mr. Darren Goebel, who is currently P2 in the AM Championship, is in P10. He, of course, had his little moment off.
I'm sure
And
there'll be a few of the amateurs suggesting that he shouldn't be in the amateur class with the constant racing he's having so far.
well, it just means that he won't be in the next season. He'll be in the pros. So,
Is it top one gets promoted? Is it?
Oh, Mr. Martin almost
Just
lost
held
his
it.
car.
In fairness, Roberto, Mr. Torres has been fast in all of them.
And Mr. Torres obviously wants to do good after the last round at Zolder. Ramirez caught up with Mr. Fouquet. So we'll be going for P8.
Just a note, I think Mr. Charlton's also disconnected as well. I was going to say DQ'd, but that's not what I meant. Disconnected. Which is unfortunate. He had a good season in the Audis, didn't he, last year in the tour? He seems to be struggling a little bit in the Mazdas.
Yeah. Yes, he is. It's right on the back of him now. Is he gonna go for the inside? He is. There you go. Mr. Ramirez puts himself in P8. But he now has a gap of 8.4 seconds too close to Mr. Luis Santiago. And Mr. Ramirez just puts in a 138.6 compared to 139.3 from Mr. Martin. So Torres currently is flying, but still got more than half. We're not halfway through the race, so
He'll be in again, yeah. So this will be the scheduled stop.
I would imagine so. Yep.
So just looking what you're saying there, Ruben, Mr. Ramirez is lapping nearly 2 seconds a lap quicker than Arnold Challenger at the moment. so he might be able to sneak a 6th position if he carries on at the pace he's going. We're just coming up to halfway in the race itself.
So you were saying 2 seconds on that last lap?
I think the last few laps actually was just doing sort of late 39s, early 40s, and Arnold Chagnon last 3 laps he's doing mid to late 41s, so it was nearly 2 seconds there. But obviously it's trying to keep the consistency, isn't it, to claw it back, which is good. What's the difference at the moment? What we've got, 14 plus 9 is 23, so what's that, another 10, 12 laps, which is, I'm not sure how many laps is it on this one. Again, trying to do the maths in my head, it's borderline, isn't it? At best, I think realistically that's the highest he can get. What they've done, 13 so far. So yeah, it's possible, but he's got to go some. I think realistically, unless there's any more issue in front of Arnold Chagnon, I think 6th is the most realistic spot on the current pace. But saying that, he's still got to get past Mr. Santiago first, so. And he seems to be losing time as well, which doesn't help.
Yeah, I was looking at the lap times for Mr. Torres and Mr. Martin, and on that last lap, Mr. Torres was a second quicker. But the gap between them is also showing it, 6.7 seconds ahead. So he's got a magic button. He's got some extra boost somewhere.
Yeah, he did that. It was last week, wasn't it? It was the same thing, having a bit of pressure on him, and then all of a sudden he kicked the hammer down and off he went. Just looking down the leaderboard at the moment, there's a few big gaps. They're all scattered around, as you can see on the map, can't you?
Just had
Yeah, and what I'm looking at as well is the gap between Mr. Fouquet and Ramirez, because Ramirez overtook him, but it's not that he's driving away that fast. He's not increasing the gap that quickly, so...
Mr. G's in the pit as we speak. So this must be his scheduled stop, even.
No, he
was in the pit already, wasn't he?
Already pitted.
Oh, was he? Oh, so he's gone back in and out again then. He didn't get done for speeding or something, did he?
Yeah,
Oh,
maybe
maybe
something with his fuel. But he is coming out of the pit now. Luis Santiago puts it on the inside at Arnaud Chagnon, takes P6.
So he's recovered well after getting caught earlier on in the corkscrew. Was it the corkscrew, wasn't it? He got
yeah, he got tapped by Mr. Fouquet. Yeah. Well, they both are. I mean, Santiago's in P6 and Mr. Fouquet is in P9, so even with that incident, they're doing quite well.
I'm just thinking if they got a pit again, actually. It was quite early on, wasn't it? I think Mr. Ramirez went... Sorry, Mr. Santiago went in the pit from memory, didn't he? So he's probably got to go back in. Well, both of them, I assume.
Craig Harris is putting the pressure on Darren Goebel. Darren, of course, just came out of the pit. And Craig Harris, unfortunately, had that incident.
Still the same.
And Craig Harris is coming in.
Yeah, still the same track temperature. Yeah.
And still mildly moist by the looks of the
I like the way you say it. Mildly moist.
Yeah, it's not very moist. It's in stages. Come on, Room, you should know this. we haven't reached saturation point.
Oh, and Canada Andresen is in the pit as well.
So for my laziness of not being asked to Google it, where is Laguna Seca? Desert somewhere, isn't it?
It's in California. It's just just above San Francisco.
Oh.
Well, looking at the track surroundings, it's definitely not in the tropics. So
So it's west side then, is it?
Yep, west side
West
the
side,
best.
isn't it?
So Kenneth Andreessen is coming out in P9.
Alex Hurt's having a great race as well, P3 currently. Just holding
definitely
it
a good
nicely
race.
there.
Yeah, I think him and Chris are having a corking race. It's probably far enough ahead from Mr. Santiago because he's
Yeah, and
quite a
Alex
little bit away
Hurt
back.
currently P8 in the Pro Championship. He's got 24 points. Mr. Hector Hernandez Ramirez also got 24 points. Duncan Kirby got 25 and Chris got 27. So
It's going to
he
stretch his
definitely,
lead out a little bit. Then there's
oh yeah, he can gain some places if he can keep this up. So definitely a good race for Mr. Alex Hurt.
should we do an in-car with Mr. Torres in a minute? Fancy a bit of in-car action, Phil?
In car with Torres.
Yeah, our leader. Showing him how it's done. Look at that.
It's a
That must be
pretty
good fun
view.
to drive that car in real life, I think.
Well, I've seen some
Oh,
nice
good
clips of
point
the
here.
MX5s at the Silverstone National track in real
Come up
life,
to
where
the corky screw.
they go door by door, and then the driver on the right-hand side of the car taps the left side mirror, which the other driver can't see out of anymore. So yeah, that's a lovely clip.
Carrying a lot of speed through that, isn't he?
Well, I think that's just the nature of this track. If you can get that right,
Yeah,
you
if you
can
get the
carry a lot of
down
speed
bit
through
right,
all the turns.
if you get the trajectory right going through the bottom bit, it
Yeah.
does whiz through.
We've got
Exactly. The same is with.
Daniel James and Kieran Williams in the pits as well at the moment. That would have been, yeah, Kieran Williams would have been running really high in the AM Championship, actually. So that's a good outing for him.
Let's have a look, Mr. Williams, who is currently 5th on 35 points. So he's 10 points behind Matt Grant, who's in 4th.
Unfortunately, he didn't make the session tonight. His R-Racing update was running at 14k per second, unfortunately.
Is he,
A bit weird.
is he on dial-up?
Yeah, that's a shame.
So two of the lads have gone in the pits at the same time and are both coming out. Oh, hello. Makes it a bit lighter with no bonnet, I suppose, wouldn't it?
Mr. Arnold Chalonier is in the pit.
Yep.
Yes.
And that was Mr. Harris in the pit with no bonnet. And so's Mr. 4K TV man.
And due to Mr. Chalonier and Fouquet being in pit, that puts Mr. Ramirez in P6 currently, but that's provisional. He still has to come in as well. But he has a good pace, so.
Is it the top 6 still to pit then? And Mr. Andreessen, is he putting I think Kenneth's got to go in.
It already had his stop in, so
Has
yeah.
he? Right, okay.
Yeah, I think it's P1 to P6
Yeah.
that still has to make their pit stop.
He must be getting to that window near the end of it.
And we're driving with Jason Heddington for the RWC Racing.
Mr. Slangmaker's in the pits.
That's quite interesting.
So Mr. Santiago is probably going to go past. Let's have a look, see if he stays out.
I think he does. He does.
He's in as well.
Is he? Yep, you're right. Just yep.
Miss Ramirez just having a quick look at him. Is he going to come in or is he going to stay out? He stays out.
He's staying out. Yep. So Chris is on his pit exit. The same goes for Mr. Luis Santiago. And Ramirez takes the position of Luis Santiago, but I think that Chris is gonna stay in front. And he does.
Our leader stays out for another lap as well. So he's going to bleed the tank dry. And Iron Martin is going in the pit.
Such a tight pit entry.
Yeah, you really do have to watch out for that pit entry.
Yeah, the old speedometer.
And if you overcook it, then you put it in the wall. So you definitely want to take it easy on the pit entry.
Or you'll have to come in for a...
And Alex Hurt is in the pit as well. But he had about a 45-second gap to Chris Slaymaker, so I can imagine that they will come out in front. What are the total pit stop times, Phil?
Let's just take a look. Pit lane times. So averaging, well, there's a few with a 110, 115, 16, 102. So probably optimal is going to be your 102s. Yeah, 102. Martin was 102.9. Slaymaker was a 1027. So a little bit faster for Chris.
How does it measure the pit time? Is it from the line
Yeah,
to when
from
they come out?
Yeah.
Right, so it's from line to line, or basically entry to exit. Okay, no, Mr. Torres stays out.
Mr. Ramirez is in the pit.
Oh no, I'll tell a lie, Mr. Torres is in the pit as well, so our leader's in. Dived in at the last minute there.
Yeah, maybe he was waiting for the other drivers to come in first, but he has the gap, so
maybe he hasn't quite got enough fuel to squeeze another lap.
well, better be safe than sorry.
Well, yeah, it'd look a bit silly if you managed to run out of fuel.
Oh, Mr. Forget going a little bit too wide in the second to last turn. Currently running in P9, so doing a good job so far.
Mr. Torres will be comfortably out in front here. He's still in the pit though.
Good save there from
Thanks.
Darren Goebel.
Definitely a good save.
I think that we might be a bit tighter than anticipating. Yeah, still quite comfortable. Yeah. We'll soon see what 350 metres equates to times. 300 metres. So bang on prediction there, Phil. 102 it was. So 300 metres is roughly 7.5 seconds.
Mr. Santiago had a good stop, 58.9 seconds. So compared to the top three, it was about 3 seconds, 2 to 3 seconds quicker on his pit stop.
So would you deduce then from Mr. Williams' time he had a drive at 0.6?
That was absolutely fine, absolutely fine. So Mr. Martin did take away about 2 seconds on the interval time between him and Mr. Torres, but still he's 8.6 seconds behind. Alex Hurt still currently running in P3, Chris Slaymaker in P4, and Andreasen in P5. Santiago in P6, and then we've got Mr. Ramirez, who started from the pit lane, currently running in P7 with less than, what is it, 9 minutes to go.
Yeah, I was going to say just under 10 minutes. Yeah.
I don't think he's going to have the pace to catch up with Mr. Santiago, but still
5 to 6 laps, I'm guessing.
Yeah, still a good race.
Let's have a little look. So, Mr. Santiago, Mr. Hamid. So, Mr. Ramirez is currently doing early 140s. I have to ignore the last two because obviously he's been in and out of the pit. And
yeah, I think.
Yeah, they're sort of lapping similar times, early 140s. So
yeah, there's only a couple of tenths in between, maybe.
It might be one position too many to try and catch up. But hey,
still.
you never know. A little incident at the corkscrew, back end comes out in one of the fast bends. Who knows?
Don't jinx it.
I want to press that button, but I haven't got one. Squeaky bum time button. That's what we need.
So, with these cars and this awesome track, unfortunately, the battles are a bit done.
Yeah, I did sort of say that at the start. It might well happen because of the nature of the track, but hey, it is what it is. You can only race what's in front of you, can't?
Yep.
It's no Monza short, is it? Let's put it like that.
No,
That was
it's not.
carnage. That was that was good fun though.
Was that the first race of the season, or was that second?
No, I think it was the second.
It was good fun though.
Oh, it's brilliant, but it's suited for like these little cars, isn't
Yeah.
it? But it's a really, really small track.
Yeah, I mean,
But
I
it's
wouldn't
just
run
basically-
LMP1s around there.
Well, you could
Would
do.
be interesting.
They would get out of first gear, though, would they? But yeah, it's all about it was all drafting, wasn't it? Is who can draft the best on the two straights, and then making sure you brake early enough for that first bend, because everyone gets confused and goes straight on normally.
So, I can inform you all that there are 3 incidents that are currently under investigation.
Ooh, which are?
Well, there was car contact between car number 43 and 87. That was lap 1. In lap 2 there was car contact between car number 61 and car number 20. And in lap 3 we've got car number 41 and car 410. That was in lap 3, so the first 3 laps where we did saw some incidents, of course. They are currently under investigation by race control, so we'll see what will be the outcome of those investigations. So Darren Goebel and Kieran Williams having a nice little battle going on, coming through the second to last hand turn.
Coming into the last 5 minutes now, so that's probably 3 laps in real terms. And I think the only battle worth looking at is the one we're currently on, which is between 12 and 13.
Yes, sir.
The rest are all pretty spaced out.
And if I'm correct, that's a battle for the AM Championship. Darren Goebel currently in P2. And Kieran Williams is currently in P5 on the AM Championship. So I would imagine that Kieran Williams would love to be and stay in front of Mr. Darren Goebel to score some extra points for the championship. Especially since Matt Grant unfortunately couldn't race tonight.
Mr. G's going to have a little look.
Just keeping it on the inside. Nice move. And he stays in front, so let's see if Kieran can put the pressure back onto Darren. Trying to fight back for his position. You have to watch out on the corkscrew as well. I'm not quite sure. I don't think there were many slowdowns in this race, but it can give you one that's a bit harsh. But although maybe I said it too soon, because Darren Goebel definitely takes an inside line, so I think Darren just took the corkscrew a little bit too much.
I think you got to slow down as you said it then. It's not just me.
No, it's not just you. So that puts Kieran Williams back into P12. And Mr. Martin Well, I have seen him doing that before, going a little bit wide between the second to last turn and the last turn on this track. And there we see Jamie Christie. Oh, keeps it on track. And look at Arne Chamonier, and back to the battle between Kieran Williams and Darren Goebel. And the car behind, or no?
No, it's Alex Hurt in front.
Oh, it was Alex Hurt in front, yep.
In P3, so he must have just got around these two.
So nice little battle going on in those last couple of minutes of the race. So 45 minutes went by very quick.
Sure did. A minute and a half left of the race.
Oh,
Which
Kieran
means
goes deep. Kieran goes deep.
Mr. Torres just crossing the line. So this is going to be the last lap.
In a 139.1. With about 10.5 second lead over Mr. Martin. So who was half a second slower on this last lap. Oh. Well, the battle between Kieran Williams and Darren Goebel definitely is entertaining. Good to see. See the difference in lines they take through turn 3. Kieran taking a lot of that inside sausage.
So
Really
just
jumps
to
the
let
car.
you guys, sorry, I was just going to say, just to let you guys know, he's just gone through the corkscrew. So I don't think he's going to get another lap in.
No, he's not going to get another lap, and I would not say so.
Last corner now,
yeah,
so
last corner.
Yeah. So that is the race. Mr. Torres just going to come up to start finish straight any second now.
So we must say Mr. Torres had a good, clean and
Solid
fast race.
Yeah, absolutely solid race from start to finish. Led the whole way, didn't he? I think.
Yeah, he did.
Very consistent with his lap times. Lots of 1:38s and 39s.
Is Darren gonna try and push it on that last turn? Ooh, he's on the outside now. Nice little fight to the start-finish straight. Kieran Williams going very wide. Well, it seems that he's gonna take the position.
He is. He's going to take that one. So,
well done to Kieran and Darren.
Chris Slaymaker finishing in 4th place. Well done to Chris.
Ooh. Yeah, and Alex Hurt, don't forget Alex Hurt.
Yeah, Alex Hurt did a great job in P3.
And there the AM Championship leader, Kenneth Andresen, coming in P5.
Just to follow Swampman 33.
Swampman. Sounds dangerous, doesn't it?
You're going to have nightmares, aren't you?
I am. Probably because of you.
Me? Wow.
So Mr. Ramirez, who had a good race coming out of the pit lane. P7, Mr. Arnold Chandler in P8, and Fouquet had a good race as well. Finished the race in P9. So I think that's everybody finished.
It is. The flags are out.
Well, welcome to the stream, Swampman. Thanks for watching, Duxpa.
Yep.
Hope to see you next week. So, Mark, I'll leave the race results to you, mate.
Oh, that's most kind. Okay, so provisional race results for round 5 at Laguna. Mr. Torres led from the first corner, led till the last corner with a great win. Jerome Martin in second, Alex Hurt third. Chris Slaymaker, good race from him in fourth. Kenneth Andreasen, leading amateur, again another solid race in fifth. Luis Santiago did well, starting at, put my teeth in, sorry. Wasn't him, actually, it was Ramirez. I was getting confused. So Luis Santiago sixth, Hector Ramirez starting from the back of the grid in seventh. Arnold Chanier in eighth. Yannick Fourquet in ninth, Daniel James in 10th, Jason Haddington 11th, Kieran Williams 12th, Darren Goebel taking it on the last corner in 13th, Chris Needham 14th, Jamie Christie 15th, Craig Harris 16th, Duncan Kirby 17th, Ben Charlton 18th, and David Patterson, I think, is 19th.
It is.
Hey, that's not a bad guess. So well done to all. So next week, where are we, Ruben?
Wasn't it Donington National?
Oh, are you making it up? Let's have a look. Come on, Phil. Hey.
Ah, making it up. Thank you. Thank you.
Hey.
Thank
So
you.
it should be a lively. That's another good track for these guys.
Lovely track for the MX5.
It's a very popular track as well.
I must say the 3 last rounds of the season so far, Donington and Alton Park, and with the season ending of Charlotte Road Course.
But do you remember how good Charlotte was last time? So
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, although I would say that, do you remember how good Daytona was the first time? And it wasn't the best this season, but we'll see. I mean, I would imagine Charlotte is still the same course. I think on season 1 in Daytona we did use that track. So
Which one?
I was about to say that we used the paid track, but I don't think we did. I think we did use that track. So
sorry, is this Charlotte Rage you're talking?
No, for Daytona.
Daytona.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I think
this season.
Charlotte should be good anyway. So
yeah.
I'm saying, is it this season? No, Charlotte would be good. That was the best round by far last
year. But first, we've got Donington National next week. Same time, same place.
Yep.
Indeed.
Wednesday evening, 8:30. So round 6 Donington National next Wednesday. Cheers for watching. Cheers Mark and cheers Ruben for commentating. We'll be back.
Cheers, Phil.
Next Wednesday for some more action. Bye bye from me.
Bye bye. See you later.